2017 and 18. Wildfires of devastating ferocity rage over vast areas of California. 17 major fires burn at the same time. More than 1 million acres of California are incinerated by blazes that include the largest single fire in state history. The rampage of deadly flames claims the lives of 8 firefighters and dozens of civilians. Thousands of homes, entire neighborhoods, are reduced to ashes. An army of professional firefighters gathers from every corner of California and beyond to push back against the spreading flames.
We respond to help out the whole community of the state of California.
Once a fire is subdued, largely unseen by the general public, the crisis continues for thousands of our fellow Californians. Some without homes, some without jobs, many of them grasping for a helping hand to pull them back toward normal.
I know the hazmat guys have already started, and that's a mandatory operation.
Local governments are faced with an overwhelming challenge.
The resources, financial, human, even emotional, are just not resources that we have in our back pocket. So knowing that there's an agency like Cal OES who is there, who can provide those services to the counties across the state of California, all 58 of them, it's a great security to know that there's someone like that you can call on, who can come in and help.
What does a city do when it suddenly loses entire neighborhoods?
I think first we step back and go, oh my God, just like anybody else. But you also realize that you can't sit there very long. You have to act and act immediately. And I think the cities have something that benefits us, and that is that we have our first responders who are used to that. And so they help us engage immediately. The fire chief and police chief, for me in particular, were instrumental in making sure that we're taking those initial first steps forward, which gets your momentum going.
The Governor's Office of Emergency Services is charged with coordinating a response that includes the many needed aspects of support for victims during and after a fire.
Getting everybody together starts well before the disaster. It begins as we come together in a room to work through the planning process, bringing local, state, federal government partners together with our private sector partners to work through how are we going to manage a particular event, what are our gaps, what are the things that we need to have very specific courses of action to deal with.
The fire is out, but the mutual response of state, county, and local agencies continues to weave a vital, multifaceted support network for the victims. Removing debris is a high priority for victims trying to get their lives back and rebuild what they lost. Cal Recycle and the Department of Toxic Substances are there to help.
The home site is returned back to the homeowner in such a manner that they can either rebuild or sell.
The Sanders family lived in their Santa Rosa home for 10 years, until the fire came.
The fire was coming from this mountain here, and it was coming down pretty quick. 70-mile-an-hour winds. It was just time to go. Clearly we couldn't stay, as you can see. So the night of the fire, we ended up at a stranger's house. After we had bounced around, from one place that became unsafe to another place that became unsafe, and then ended up at a perfectly stranger's house, and they took us all in, and we were safe for that night. And I almost don't like to come by to look at it, It's like when we start rebuilding, then I'll come and be ready to look, but right now it's just... As far as I'm concerned, our local fire department, first responders, everyone did outstanding.
Terry Sanders commutes to work for the city of Oakland. He's an active CalPERS member who's looking forward to his retirement. CalPERS is another example of many California agencies that work in support of those whose lives have been scarred by the fires. Many of those who lose a home lose their mailing address, and that's a real problem if they're a retiree expecting a pension check.
We've been able to provide resources at the actual disaster location by providing knowledgeable team members that are there and willing and able to help our impacted retirees. Oftentimes they want to know how they're going to be able to get their pension payment. Sometimes they want to know about things such as power of attorney and whether they need to have one in place.
It was very emotional. Almost everybody who came to our booth and shared their stories, they cried, and I cry with them, I pray with them at the booth, and they're very thankful that CalPERS was there to show support.
At every level, federal, state, and local, an even more experienced response is being prepared for next time.
Yes, I will say that we are ready, but there's always more that we can do. And really that message for whether you're an employer or a public servant or a resident of our state or even a visitor, being aware of our disaster risk and doing a few things to make sure that you're ready really makes us all ready.
This happened last year, and this is where we are. This is it, and all the cameras are gone. They're all gone, and we still have to live here. And so it's so important that our community, all of our neighbors, all of our friends, all of our extended family, we still support each other. You just have to do the best that you can with rapidly changing circumstances. And they did a fantastic job, a fantastic job.
When the next crisis comes, it will be met again with the important power of serving California together.